Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. It has been, well, it's kind of sunny-ish right now, but it was, when I first went out this morning, it was sunny, but within minutes became gray and was threatening rain. And now it's kind of not sunny, but not overcast either. So, yay. But I walked in a couple places, and there's stuff that I want to drag my tablet out again and record, because there's some cool stuff out there. Largely, it's been the weather that's been keeping me from not doing it, because when I go out in the morning, it's kind of threatening rain. When it's bright and sunny, I'll take it out. We don't have a ton of those. And while it doesn't rain a lot, I don't want to risk rain falling on my non-waterproof tablet. So hopefully later on I'll maybe be able to get some stuff done today. I found, well, it wasn't hard, we have a disc golf place that's pretty close to where I live. And it got all tore up because they did a whole bunch of sewer type, well, pipeline work. And they ripped up like a good quarter or almost half of the park. And I want to take the tablet over there to record some of this stuff, because there's one section where they had buildings, one or two, that were in a fence. And now that they're done, it's a huge area. But right next to the fencing area is something that they didn't move and take away. And they were just like some of these huge pipes and stuff that are out in woods and forest around here. There were some smaller concrete pipes. Great amounts of moss on them. They were old. Been sitting there for how many decades? Did they get rid of them? No, they're still sitting there. So, yeah, I want to record some of that stuff, and that'll be cool. I want to drag my tablet over to the cemetery, and then there's a park next to the cemetery. I walk on all sorts of fields back behind our local. We have a Fred Meyer's, and then there's a strip mall. Where if you don't live in the U.S., of course, you don't know what Fred Meyer's / Kroger is, but it's just a big chain box store, but it's attached to another strip mall type area. And so it's got a huge back area, and there's a huge one of those drainage type fields in the back area of that. But while I'd like to go down into it, because it looks cool, it's not really a good idea. Reeds grow in there because it is an active enough drainage field. And if reeds are growing in there, you're going to get stuck in the mud. So, yeah. I do want to go down there, but I don't want to get stuck in the mud. So I want to drag the tablet around that, the drainage field, spots in woods, that park that's over near the cemetery. And again, I want to drag the tablet through the cemetery. But the biggest reason I don't do that is, again, I don't want to show any disrespect while I'm there and hurt anybody. And for some people, showing disrespect is just being there and rubbernecking and looking around. Now, I don't mind too much of that, but recording while I'm tromping around and talking, I'm not worried about disrespecting the actual dead, because they're dead. They don't care. But it's the living that I don't want to hurt any feelings of. So one day I'm going to drag it in there and do my best to take a look at stuff and record it for everybody. And then there's a park right next to it that I want to drag the tablet into there and record the park and see what that looks like. So there is stuff around, and I do have plans, and I am still doing my best to get up and around a couple times a day. So that's a very good thing. Thumbs up for that. Hopefully you're getting out and doing stuff too, because I sure wish I'd done a lot more moving when I was younger. I'd have a lot fewer issues than I have right now. Oh boy. And on another front, one of the things that I do want to record today, and I'm hoping I can actually push through the executive dysfunction for it, I'm going to talk about that for just a moment. An ADHD meme thing, I think it was, that I saw online was talking about a good way to look at executive dysfunction issues. It's not that you don't want to do something. It's like in an MMO. What you're trying to do is still on its cooldown recharge. It's been in use. You have to wait for it to hit recharge before you can use it again. And some of these things have recharge times of days or weeks, if not longer. So that's a good way to look at that. But one of the things I want to do is I showed off, where's the box? Here it is. Stochastic blindness. I looked right at it and couldn't see it. This. I showed the box for this and some of the cards for the game. Very, very simple game, and I'm hoping to record, I wouldn't say one game of it, but since a game can last just like 5 seconds, I need to record more than one game, most likely. Now, if you get the deluxe version of this, it actually comes with, they had an expansion, the Hydra's Den. So you can buy GAMOT and then the Hydra's Den, or you can get the deluxe version where you get the Hydra's Den with it. And that's just 18 extra cards. You can shuffle them in, you can take them out because they've got this little symbol on them. But it adds difficulty because it's got, while it's got bigger weapons, you know, a nice 13 weapon strength, it's also got things like the Owl Bear with a 14 strength attack. Hokily smokily. I mean, this 13 there, you're still going to take damage from it because it's going to whap you. And that's a pretty solid weapon. So hokey smokes. But yeah, I want to do that for the channel. Because again, remembering, it's like, it's a functional equivalent if I set these 4 cards down and this is what's in the room. And then I have to deal with these. Well, one's a weapon, so I have to install the weapon. So I would now have a 13 weapon installed. And then I would take this and put it next to my card down below because I'd be carrying it, and then I would have to deal with these 2. That would be bad because this is an 11 damage. Well, this is a 13 strength card, so that would be whack. I could take it out instantly. But now this weapon can only attack 11 with a 11 or... I can't speak English. It now has a weapon strength of 11. So when going up against this Owl Bear, it's going to destroy the weapon, but it'll also take out the Owl Bear. You'll just take 3 points of damage while doing so. So you'd survive, but you'd take damage and lose the weapon. So that's a heavy-duty room right there. It goes by fast. And as stated, they go by quick. I mean, I have run like 4 games in 4 minutes because I've died that quickly. Now, the other game that I've got that runs that fast, 8-Bit Dungeon, it does have more mechanics behind it. Because you can level up. And when you die in the dungeon, you don't just instantly die. You are taken to 0 hit points, you're kicked out of the dungeon, and you take some hit point damage. So your maximum hit point starts here, and the more times you get killed, the lower your threshold gets, until you've got a very small, like you're going into the dungeon with like 3 points. Maximum. Can't go above that. Yeah, you ain't gonna last long. So that one's got some stuff, and it moves pretty quick too, and I want to run that one again. Yay! So very cool on that. There's all sorts of card things, and you know, I still forgot to get that one card thing out that I wanted to talk about, because I'm not sure how many things I have not got, and I wanted to talk about this to really show off how it can be used, because it's an Oracle set that you can get from, I think it's Grey Gnome Games. But still, it's cards like this big, and they're really neat. I keep meaning to drag them out and show them off again, or first time, because good old ADHD. So yeah, I got all sorts of plans and ideas. I have brain. I have brain, which is good. Past that, yeah, I have not been doing a whole lot. I have a massive amount of pain. I'm amazed I can do this right now. Just reaching up and touching my spine at the base of my neck, well, not quite the base, lower, just above my shoulders, that hurts so much. I had fallen asleep a few times where my head was leaning forward and dragging down hard, and oh my God, that hurt. It ended up getting to such a bad point. Only in the past couple days has that been getting better. So I had to be super careful with my posture so that my back and neck don't kill me any further. But again, past that, trying to play games as best I can. I have been playing Grocery Store Simulator a fair amount. I've even had Supermarket Simulator up and running periodically. That one's even harder. I mean, when I say even harder, it's sometimes hard to play games like Grocery Store Simulator because things are so choppy. In that I can have an object here and I need to click on it, but it'll be frame, and then it won't go into the middle. So it's really hard to adjust it so I can actually click on those things. That's an irritating factor in Grocery Store Simulator. It's really heavy duty because Supermarket Simulator is even less optimized. So that one's really hard to play. And if it's even in a tinier area. They call it Supermarket Simulator, but you start off and it would be just a corner of a bodega. It's a tiny little thing, barely enough room for you and 2 shelves. So, nice supermarket. It's fun, it's just harder to play on the system that I have. But still, have been playing Supermarket Simulator, been running my store and having my people using the self-checkout lanes, because I have 6 self-checkout machines, and then I am just constantly running into the back, filling up my stocker chart with stuff, running it out, putting all my stuff onto the shelves, and then running back and doing that again. While you're doing that, of course, occasionally there's a mistake? Yeah, an error with the system. You have to stop, run over to that self-checkout machine, click on it, resolve the error, exit out of that, and then they can go back to paying for their groceries. But yeah, there's stuff that's going on. Yay. But past that, though, I sincerely hope that you are doing well. I am going to do my best to do well. Hopefully you are going to do well. Hopefully the whole world is going to do well. I can speak English, I promise you. I personally don't think the world is going to do well. By the year 2070, but probably by 2050, the major ice shelf on the Antarctic, I believe it is. It's Arctic or Antarctic? I think it's the Antarctic on the southern pole. That's going to slip off. There's nothing we can do to stop that. And when it does and starts melting, the ocean levels are going to raise by 17 feet. Now, when you raise the levels of the ocean by 10 feet, most of the United States goes away. When you raise it by 17 feet, well, you can almost double that. I don't think there's going to be much of anything left anywhere. But until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. Yeah, I try not to be doomer, but with climate change, microplastics, all this stuff, oy vey. It's kind of hard to stay positive, I tell you. Doing my best, though, because it's so much better than the alternative. You get too negative, it gets nastier and nastier up here until you actually do something about it, and that ain't good. See you, take care.